What's going on, guys? Eli Martyr here. Welcome back to the FreeMelon Society. Glad you're joining me for another video. And today I'm joined with my buddy Jonjo over here. Jonjo, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Yeah, no, thank you. Appreciate your time. And we're here at the Tanglewood Wellness Centre. And so I'm making my rounds and doing some videography and just collecting interviews from people.
Yeah.
I interviewed Katie earlier, anyway, I've just been making my rounds and just doing different little things. And I wanted to interview you as well, because when we were chatting throughout the week, you told me that you'd done fasting here with Loren.
Yep.
Multiple fasting, if I'm not mistaken, yeah?
I've done 3 big fasts,
Okay, so he's done 3 big fasts here, which is quite commendable. And with fasting, we're talking about some people get the idea that fasting is for only people that are doing like the cleanest, spiritual raw food, lifestyle and whatnot. Fasting is for everybody and anybody. It's a natural, innate healing tool that we have at our disposal. And I wanted to just ask you very, very, very simply, right? You fasted 3 times already. What was the fast like for you? And what did you? And you know what? Let me say this. What did you notice was the main benefits that you experienced coming from where you were till after? Let's start with just your first fast.
Yeah, I think it's more important to just go for the first fast.
For the first fast, okay. Yeah.
Which was 2017.
Okay.
I was aged 31 at the time of the first fast. I'm 39 now. And I was chronically sick. I got sick at the age of 25. Obviously, I know I keep this short. For 7 years then, 6.5 years, I was trapped in hell with the medical industry. I was on all kinds of different medication for this chronic, label it autoimmune, fibromyalgia, chronic nervous system dysfunction. So I eventually soul searching and trying to find an answer to my problems. It wasn't in the medical industry. I was getting sicker and sicker and I was losing my soul. And long story short, I discovered through YouTube back then, 7 years, however long ago that was now, 2017, I started finding stuff to do with intermittent fasting. Then juice fasting came up on YouTube and started to put the puzzle together. And then I found some videos of Loren Lockman. I had no idea who he was. I had no idea about fasting at all. No idea about diet or nutrition.
Right.
With my problem.
Yeah.
So everything, I started watching Loren's videos and everything he said resonated with me.
Yeah.
It was like every time he explained stuff, a light bulb was going off in my head. Like when you're on a game show and you answer the question, you get the ding, correct, ding, ding, and everything he was saying was, that makes sense. The body heals itself when you give it the correct environment and the energy to heal itself.
Yeah.
So it just resonated so much with me, and I was desperate as well. I was so sick. I got in touch with him, booked a fast, spoke with him in a consultation, and a lot of people come and do a 21-day fast. Some do 26, 30, and then there's 35, 40. I went for 30 because I knew my problem was chronic.
Yeah.
And then a few months later I arrived in an extremely sick, toxic body. I wasn't on medication at this point, but I'd taken medication for years.
Okay.
However, and numerous years of toxic medication.
Yeah.
However, I did come from a boxing sporting background. I'd always competed as an athlete for the first 25 years. So I didn't have a weight issue. I wasn't overweight. I was like quite normal built, like slim with a bit of tone to me. And then not realising what I was letting myself in for, I did not change my diet in any way, shape or form in the build up to come in. So I went straight from what people call, the SAD diet, the standard American diet, to complete water fasting overnight. I did not detox from anything before, and I was on lots of coffee and normal food before. So the water fast was incredibly difficult.
So just so you guys know, when you combine water fasting with no preparation and no transition, well, that equals DETOX HELL. take, guys?
Incredibly difficult for me, but because of how toxic my body was, it hit me very hard the first fast. However,
Right.
and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I truly don't believe I would be alive today if I hadn't have discovered water fasting and how much it can help heal the body and cleanse the system. I had chronic eczema that I'd had my whole life. Eczema obviously is a skin disorder. That completely healed during the fast. I had chronic muscle and joint pains all over my body that got worse to begin with during the fast because my body was attempting to heal.
Right.
And just to let you know how crazy the healing system is, I come from a boxing background and I suffered a terrible whiplash/concussion years ago as a fighter.
Okay.
And it was in the side of the back of my neck, my head. And I remember the injury from years ago, and about on day 18 of the fast, of the water fast, I woke up that one morning and I had this terrible pain all the way in the side of my neck and into the back of my head. It was horrific, and
That's
I couldn't,
amazing,
and I did not know what it was at first. And I was like, "Have I slept funny?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, because it's too painful." And then I started to think, and I explained to Loren about how I had the injury there, and we came to the conclusion that it can't be anything else.
Yeah.
And it was attempted, and it healed. You know.
Yeah.
An old injury that probably didn't heal correctly.
Sure.
And I completed the fast, and it was groundbreaking for me mentally, physically, spiritually. But I'll just finish on a key point that people must understand, that I now know that I didn't know back then. If you're going to do a deep fast, I strongly recommend that. I'm not saying you have to go raw vegan and only eat just fruit and salad, which would be the optimal, but just strive to do the best that you can and remove out the obvious stuff. Try and withdraw from all caffeine and processed food in the 2, 3, 4 weeks building up to your water fast to get yourself a little prepared for what's going to come.
Yeah. 100%.
And after the fast, that is the key to trying to stick to it, the diet that you promote and do, which is the high water content fruit diet.
Yeah.
Because after you've done a deep fast and drank the correct amount of water, you're meant to flush your system out, like emptying the cesspit, the swamp.
Right.
So that's a key part. The fast was truly amazing in every possible way, and then the weeks after the fast that I continued to eat the fruit diet, my chronic fibromyalgia symptoms, I could feel them all building up and getting worse, and every time I went for a big bowel movement, they got better. So the more I went to the toilet in the weeks after the fast and emptying out this old material, the better I got. It was literally like magic. So I will fast for the rest of my life periodically, not every year. You don't need to do excessive fasting, but I've done 3 fasts over the past 7 or 8 years. And it changed my life in every possible way.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's incredible. And I think you touched on a good point there. It's not necessary to be perfect, right, in your diet and lifestyle. Like, perfection is it's not very easy to come by. No. And nobody does it. Nobody's perfect, right? But what I think will help in how well fasting works for you is how responsible you are to yourself with your dietary choices, and just making the best choices that you can. You said that as the refeeding time went on, that's when those things flushing out of you, and a lot more changes you noticed, like with the flushing out. So for people out there, okay, so let's just say you're in a similar position where you jumped onto a fast and you're coming from a diet that's not optimal, right? For sure not optimal. When you break your fast, it's not that you must, if you're not ready for it or you don't want to go there, it's not that you must stay and remain on a mostly fruit diet with other raw foods here or there, but you would want to do that at least for a period.
Yes, I would say to everyone to truly start to notice the magic of what the fast does,
right,
and to get the most benefit.
Right.
Trying to tell someone you've got to stay raw fruit-based vegan for the rest of their life is pretty daunting for people that have never done it, including myself. And
it's a mind job for that. For people that aren't versed in this, it's just a mind job.
Yes. So, but I think everyone's capable of dedicating. Well, Loren Lockman recommends a minimum of 6 weeks to get the benefits. So let's just say 6 weeks.
Okay.
You've already put yourself through hell and you've not eaten for 30 days or
Sure.
26 days, 25,
Sure.
21.
Sure.
When you are refeeding, you are still detoxing when you go onto a fruit diet. If you only put fruit in your body and no seasonings, no salt, I personally don't even think you should touch too much salad either. Concentrate on your high water content fruit for 6 weeks after the fast, water and fruit, and magic will happen. You will start to flush your system out of all the old material, but the key to that is doing the water fast and hydrating the old material and drinking the water, the correct amount of water, which you can research and find out what's safe.
Gotcha.
And then it's up to you. Everyone's on their own journey. Eli's a great advert for the fruit-based diet, but all different people can fast. If you have no interest in being a raw vegan fruit-based person, it doesn't mean that you can't come and fast, because fasting is still, your body doesn't know that in the future you're not going to eat fruit. Your body's going to attempt to cleanse and heal while you're doing the fast. But I think we can all agree that a raw fruit-based diet is all the science, all the studies and the evidence, in my opinion anyway, and obviously I know in your opinion, it's clear that that's the correct diet for our species. So the closer you can stick to that, the better your outcomes are going to be.
Right. Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Now, I said I had 2 questions for you, but I think just in that little dialogue, we've kind of encapsulated the whole shebang. I mean, that's really what I want people to take from this, is that anybody can fast.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody can fast, and B, with the refeeding process, or the period after the fast, that's when the real discipline kicks in.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, okay, fasting is not, I don't want to say it's easy, okay? But compared to the challenge that you have as a person who's had a lifetime of familiarizing themselves with the routine of always stuffing themselves with the worst of the worst, these processed foods that don't have a natural relationship to your physiology, for you to start eating and not jump back to those, that is a challenge. Like, that requires discipline, right? So that is where you want to be really, really, really on your game. And then let's just say you go through that, and you're recommending about 6 weeks.
Minimum, to try and truly. So I'll give you an example on my first fast, which was the most important and challenging one.
Okay.
My symptoms were a good base to judge, because some people might just come with one specific severe issue in one area. Mine was all over my body.
Right.
So after the fast, about 2 weeks after the fast, I was getting ready to go on a plane back to England. And I still felt pretty terrible. Better than it was, but I still had all these chronic muscle pains, and I sort of, a little disheartened, I spoke to Loren, and I said, Loren, I'm still not feeling great. And I'll never forget, he said, trust me, please just stick to the diet.
Yeah.
Stick to the diet and watch what happens over the next 5, 6, 7 weeks.
Yeah.
And when I got back to England, of course I was feeling a lot better than I was, but I'd not got the results that I thought I was going to get. Within 2-3 weeks back in England, I woke up one morning and I had no pain all over my body. I went from a last big bowel movement one morning, and the last of these weird muscle knots and pains disappeared. And I cried, because I couldn't believe that I could feel no pain in my body for the first time in 7 years. And all I did was water fast, and then refeed on a fruit-based diet. And the magic happened for me. Obviously, the whole system is the magic, the abstaining from food, letting the body cleanse and heal itself and rest, and then putting in the correct fuel, which is fruit. To flush out the old material that's all in there, and probably in muscles and joints and all that kind of stuff. And each time I went for a bowel movement back in my home country, I was going to the toilet 3-4 times a day, as opposed to like once every 2 days or once, like on a standard diet. And magic was happening. I could feel the pain leaving my body, and it was amazing. So it is to get the most benefit from your fast and whatever you're trying to heal, But I also must stress I had a chronic condition, so it's going to definitely help people that are struggling with all various conditions. But people that don't have an obvious condition but are awake to what true health is, this is the key. This is the secret to health.
Right.
And it involves no medication,
Right.
no surgery, and it's tried and tested. The science is clear on fasting, water fasting.
Right.
And I think the science and data is pretty clear about what happens when you adopt a fruit-based diet like yourself, how you feel and function, and how your body reacts to it in a clean body.
Sure.
When you're addicted to cooked food, which I've had my problems with on and off between, that's why I fasted 3 times, I keep coming back. But when you fast long enough, you cleanse your body of the addictions that you were once used to. The salt, the spices, the seasonings, the cooked food.
Yeah.
So fruit will taste a lot nicer to you after you've done a fast, and you're starting to get your body cleaner and cleaner as well. That's another key point.
Yeah, absolutely. That's brilliant, man. Yeah, thank you. So now, let's assume that you've done all that. Okay, this is the last little thought here, and I think we've got it all pretty much. Once you have, well, let's say you finish the fast. You finish the approach. You have that 6 weeks at least eating clean raw fruits. Okay, if at that point you cannot tolerate the thought of maintaining that diet for forever, or as a default diet that and you want to get back to some of the things that you used to do, then in my opinion, if that is truly your motivation, you're not ready for this, this is a lifestyle thing, then what would be very good for you to do is to avoid certain drug-like foods, or foods that have drug-like effects on your body. I have videos on the art of transition that you can go and watch to flesh out what that laundry list of landmine foods are that you would really want to avoid. And if you did return to a cooked food diet, right, you would be in much better condition than people who also eat a cooked food diet but include all of these other drug-like effect foods,
like the excitotoxins,
the processed foods, the canned and the packaged foods, the powdered products, the fermented products, the teas, the salts, and the coffees, and all that stuff, right? So there's a reformed way to conduct even your cooked food diet if you choose to go back to that after the fast. And if not, then great, right? Then you can constitute your diet of fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, salads, exactly.
The key is to strive for the best, but don't beat yourself up if for whatever reason you don't fully adopt it. It is the optimal diet. It is you'll get the most benefit from the fast, and you will feel the best if you adopt a raw vegan fruit-based diet. But if for whatever reason you're not about that life, or it's just not for you, I strongly recommend still doing raw till 4. If you were to eat 3 meals a day, make your first 2 meals fruit-based meals, and then your third meal a salad, or we don't need to get into the exact foods, but common sense should take approach that potatoes or basic rice or vegetables or basic soups is always going to be better than just going back to the standard diet. So try your best to keep the diet as clean and as natural as possible is my advice.
You got it. Love it. Guys, that's some solid advice for you. I hope you got something out of this little dialogue. I appreciate your time. So if there's any information, details you want me to put in the description that people can get in touch with you or ask you questions, Instagram or whatnot, then I'll add that in the description below.
There will be areas you can contact me in, and I'll go through that with you, and you can put them in the description below. And if anyone's interested in water fasting and they have any questions, they can get in touch with me, and I'm also very closely connected with Loren.
Great.
So I can go through it from there.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks guys. Subscribe to the channel if you like videos like this, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, enjoy. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
All right. Okie dokie.